Spring clean that podcast feed and skip the doom scroll. The Newsworthy gets you caught up on the day's news in less than 15 minutes and gives you some fun conversation starters along the way. It's quick, friendly, and informative. Search The Newsworthy wherever you're listening now and follow or subscribe to The Newsworthy today.
And this, my friend, is episode 793 of Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Osdol, and the show is sponsored by SopelSolar.com, S-O-P-E-L, solar.com. I'm recording this on the 7th of November. If you are one of the many who listen or watch from the Midwest, you know, lovely day today, but the weather's going to turn. And when it turns quick, it turns hard, it is merciless, and you want to get set up with solar before any of that happens. Take advantage now. There are tax credits in place through the end of the year, local, national, that can help you save up to like 48%, I think, off your total cost. That's amazing. And it costs nothing out of pocket. Nothing out of pocket. Get your free consultation by going to SopelSolar.com. And the second those panels go on your home, you start saving money immediately. SopelSolar.com.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Osdol.
Car Con Carne, also sponsored by 90 Days in the 90s by Andy Fry. 90 Days in the 90s, a rock and roll time travel story. As I mentioned, it's early November. The holidays are right around the corner. And if you have a friend or a coworker, an acquaintance, family member who speaks lovingly of the 1990s or wishes they had been there for the 1990s in Chicago, this is the book to get them for the holidays. 90 Days in the 90s. You can follow Darby. She owns a record store in Chicago. She goes back to the 90s in Chicago, the days of lounge acts. Oh my God, the days of lounge acts, the days when the Pumpkins were a newer band making their way through the national and international landscape. Go back to the 90s, relive all the nostalgia, the pop culture. It was a great time, and it's captured here in fabulous fiction form. 90 Days in the 90s. Get an autographed copy of the book. Again, for the holidays, 90daysinthe90s.com. So, Man's Body plays GMan on Friday, November 11th, recording this on the 7th. You still have time, probably, if you're listening now. And that show at GMan on November 11th comes shortly after the release of Man's Body's live set, Taking the Edge Off, live at Kingsize Chicago. The band's most recent studio release, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's right over my right shoulder. A Set of Steak Knives is their second, and it's also responsible for the unshakable earworm that is Hit the Bricks. I'm joined by Man's Body, specifically Jay Niimi and Greg Franco. Gentlemen, nice to see you.
Hello. Good to be
Nice to hear you. All that. I want to start with a little history of Man's Body, because Jay, I've known you and your musical resume for, Jesus, decades at this point.
Yeah.
Stretching across Ashtray Boy and Aiden and John Huss Moderate Combo. Like, I'm well familiar. I'm well familiar with you. How did you guys get together? Where did Man's Body come from?
Well, we met Greg and I met in 2014 when Ashtray Boy was playing out in the West Coast. Turns out we have a mutual friend, this guy Andy, who had played in Ashtray Boy and then moved to LA, was living in Chicago and then moved to LA and befriended Greg. So this guy Andy was playing bass with us, and he introduced me to Greg. And then Greg and I kind of became fast friends and started hanging out and recording and doing music and stuff. And then it's come full circle now because this guy, Andy Creighton, has joined us as our third member now. He's our other guitar player.
But he is not, for those listening and who don't see the video, he is not in the room with you?
No, he's not here. No. He comes into town tomorrow.
Okay, well, I was going to ask about that because when I first became aware of Man's Body, I knew it as kind of a multiple city band,
right,
with members scattered across major metropolises in America. But now you're all in the same city, almost.
Two cities.
This week. The neat thing is that I got interested in getting an apartment. So Jay and I decided with another roommate that we have an apartment in Chicago here too, and Jay lives here. And I come and go, and Andy comes and we have a room for him. And So we're living in Irving Park.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so you're a part-time resident. I think the kids call it a stabbing cabin, Greg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
All right, so 2014, you meet, you instantly connect. Was the connection, was the bond that Man's Body formed, was it kind of based on a shared love of bands, e.g. The Fall, who I see represented in a poster above Jay's head?
That's right. Yeah. Shared love of bands, shared hatred of bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Greg was in another band called Rough Church, and he first asked me to play with Rough Church. So I played drums and we did some shows. That was 2015. And then that went well. So 2016, the following year, he said, why don't we rent some time at Electrical Audio and do some recording? So we went into Electrical Audio. We got our previous guitar player, Marco, to come along, and he played bass. I was playing drums then. Greg was playing guitar. We totally switched since then, but we recorded an EP in one day.
Yeah, we did a thing called Man's Body Found. It's our little EP. That's our little first salvo kind of record. And then it took off from there. We said make another record called Put Your Family in It. And we've been traveling doing that too. We went to East Coast and we did a bunch of stuff. And then fast forward, we finished a record right before the pandemic, and that's a set of Steak Knives.
Which is lovely, which is from Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fantastic. I think we share a lot of the same points of reference.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. So the new live release, Taking the Edge Off, live at Kingsize Chicago. We're just going to keep name dropping studios and engineers throughout this interview. I love the ballsy choice of covering Devo, Gates of Steel.
That was my idea. I knew that Jay loved Devo, though, for sure.
I love Devo too, and I'm going through, and I go through this, I think, every year. I go through like a Devo rediscovery period.
Yeah.
That band is just so good. Those first few albums, especially.
Oh man.
Like Freedom of Choice, which has Gates of Steel, is undeniable, but certainly that first album is so good. And I love Oh No, It's Devo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the question is why put out a live release as you're still kind of making your way with a set of Steak Knives?
Just keep the audience on their toes.
I had the idea too that no one's doing live albums particularly anymore. And
I guess that's true. That really is true, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we were kind of built up to a certain place where we had toured this band enough, and we had this great drummer and guitar player, and we eventually, unfortunately, kind of switched again with players. But I wanted to keep a record of what that band was like.
That makes sense.
Marco's no longer in the band. And so it was a way to kind of just mark the moment. And it was, post-pandemic. It was our first time back playing again. But it just sounded so smoking. I had the idea that we could just invite some friends, and Mike was really good about letting us do that. And so they set up a whole recording thing, and we had friends over, and we were filmed it, and then we were like, okay, what do we do with this? It's like, well, let's just put it out.
It makes sense to me. I want to talk a little bit about some of the music. Again, you're playing GMan on the 11th. It's a Friday night. GMan, November 11th. Some of the songs on a set of Steak Knives. I mentioned The Fall. I mentioned Hit the Bricks. That's the song that stuck in my head most immediately when I first listened through the album. I mean, it's kind of hard to not have that just sit and take up residency in your brain. But that was meant to be kind of a Marquis Smith of The Fall tribute, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a soccer anthem or something, like something you can chant along with, and hold your beer up and chant along with it.
Another song I absolutely love on the album, and it probably connected with me last out of everyone, and I think it's become my favorite song. It's a sleeper, I think, on the album, and that's Classically Mine.
Yeah. That was kind of my foyer into like writing a song like Stylistics or something, a little bit R&B. I really liked the production. We tried to get there. I don't know if we did, but Burt Bacharach, that kind of thing. I'm the pop guy. I'm the Prefab Sprout. Jay's The Fall. I'm The Fall too, but like the side of like that is me, that kind of thing. So I wrote that for my wife. So.
Oh, well, it's beautiful. And like I said, this one really came back around and just, it's pretty undeniable. Who is the female vocalist on that?
That's Kaylin Wolfberg, and she sings on a lot of our music. So she's an LA gal, plays violin on it. And she's played with us live a bunch. She can't make it to these shows, but she's kind of, we have a retinue of people who get to play Man's Body music, and they seem to be very happy about it. So we engage a lot of different musicians. So
that voice is a nice dimension to that song.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And congratulations. This is the first time retinue was used on this podcast. I'm almost 800 episodes in. So
How about Bloodsucker? Has that been used?
yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about some of the desperation I might be hearing here in these lyrics on this album. Last Day on Earth.
Wow.
Slow, feels kind of nihilistic.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
No, things are not okay.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, we're recording this the day before Election Day. That's the truth.
Right. Yeah, Last Day on Earth. It's sort of a fantasy of giving into your id or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song.
It's meant to be open ended, but the ending, you're not quite sure what happens to the protagonist, but that's on purpose.
Well, and the protagonist, I got to say, don't fare too well. A Bed of Nails. Why do I stay lost and not found?
Yeah.
There's some dark subject matter here, but this sounds like it's probably, or it sounds like it's the most literal of a lot of these songs is Shower and a Cigarette. And this sounds like just straight up a song about war.
Yeah, it comes out of Syria, and I read a article that was straight up. The guy was, being interviewed by some reporter, and he said, I've got to get over this bombing stopped, and I got to do this, and I really want a shower and a cigarette. I mean, it just hit me like we all want a shower and a cigarette, in the midst of something terrible going on, you need something kind of normal to happen.
Small things, signs of normalcy.
Got it. Now there is a hint of positivity, I think, on Contact Psi. Sounds like maybe there's an affirmation or two in there.
It's positive.
Oh, Contact Psi is very positive.
I didn't want to assume it was because nothing else seems to be positive. I didn't want to
right.
reading that wrong. All right. So if people want to hear more, there's Bandcamp, obviously.
Yeah.
Where would you like people to go?
Apple Music, YouTube, pretty much every streaming platform.
And vinyl.
And vinyl.
And vinyl. That's how you support bands, right?
Right.
Buy
the vinyl.
I don't understand why more people don't do it. It puts more money in the band's pockets, and it gives you a cool thing to have and hold and touch, treasure.
Totally.
Covet.
And it helps support Greg's addiction.
Which is my addiction?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just making things up.
I have an addiction.
Cigarettes?
I just found out.
Cigarettes?
His habit.
My habit. Wait,
habits.
You wrote "Do It Slow."
His dirty habits.
Amazing. All right. Jay, Greg, Man's Body, thank you. And again, Friday the 11th at GMan. We will see you there.
Okay.
All right.